Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session by Facebook. And today's session is titled Preparing Your 2022 Passwords for the Upcoming Placement Season. I'm your presenter for the day, Arvind Raghunathan, and I am the Senior Manager for Training and Products at Facebook. And some of you, I hope I would have interacted with you earlier in some of the earlier sessions as well. Very happy to have you on board. Now, in these trying times, I hope all of you are staying safe and healthy. And from Facebook, we pledge our utmost commitment to ensure that we stand by our partner institutions and the student community in terms of ensuring that the current pre-final year cohorts, whom I'm sure that you're going to be putting a lot of efforts in terms of gearing them for the placement season. We wanted to tell you that we are with you in terms of supporting them. And as a result of that is why we are here in this particular session, where we wanted to discuss best practices with respect to preparing this cohort for the placement season, which will start very soon. And of course, there is a specific offering which FacePrep is releasing this year with respect to supporting students of our partner institutions completely free of cost in terms of getting the kickstart that they need for the placement preparation. We'll be talking about that as well in this session. So before I get started into the core of the session, I'm just doing a quick audio and a video check, perhaps to see if I'm loud and clear and if you're able to see my screen as well. During the course of this session, you can also type in your comments, question at any point in time. You would see a question mark icon perhaps on the top right of your screen, irrespective of whether you will be joining from a mobile device or a laptop or a computer. You can use that to type in your questions or acknowledge anything that you would like to acknowledge during the course of this session. So I hope my audibility is good, and I hope my screen is also visible clearly to all of you. If you can please give me a quick round of acknowledgement, it will be great. All right, thank you very much for the acknowledgement. So we'll get started. Now the agenda of this session is fourfold. We will primarily start by talking about identifying and segmenting our pre-final year students cohorts into different buckets. So naturally, there are going to be students with different proficiency levels across this entire cohort. Now, so of course, some of you in this audience would have already done this segmentation in terms of figuring out which kind of which section of the 2022 passwords cohort will be able to, let's say, apply for a specific range of companies. You would have perhaps done this segregation in terms of specific skill sets as well. For those of you who have not done that, we'll also be talking about the best practice in terms of doing this segmentation and identifying different skill sets that you need to train the students on. The next point we'll also talk about is we'll talk about key skills to focus on. So naturally, we'll talk about the key skills to focus on from a tech job perspective. We'll speak about IT services recruiters, where the massive numbers are naturally going to happen for campuses in this placement season. We'll also be talking about the aspirational IT product companies and competitive coding contests as well. There is in fact one competitive coding contest by Infosys which is already running, and there is one by TCS which is just around the corner. So naturally, specific cohort of your students will also be end up preparing for that. We'll be talking about that as well. And we'll try to marry our ideas in terms of trying to arrive at an ideal training calendar from now until the placement season start. And finally, we'll also talk to you with respect to how can we help you with a completely free of cost offering in terms of ensuring that your students get the ideal kickstart that they need. Just doing another audio check. I'm receiving one comment saying that there is a bit of a break in the voice. Is it the problem for anybody else as well? Are you able to hear me seamlessly? All right. So I guess it's a bit of a local issue at one or two cases. If anybody else is also facing an issue, please feel free to let me know and I will try to correct things. All right. Now we start with the first part, which is doing the objective identification. After this, naturally, we'll go on to talk about the segmenting part of it as well. So the objectives basically, there are of course primarily two objectives. One of course is there are students whom you want to place in the top IT product recruiters. Some of these recruiters are already visiting your campuses on a regular basis. Maybe there are certain recruiters whom you want to kind of position your students for from a competitive coding contest perspective and off-campus perspective. So of course, that there's going to be this creamy layer of your 2022 cohort whom you are positioning for the IT product recruitment season that's going to start very soon. Then of course, the largest numbers that are going to be happening for our campuses are going to be from the top IT service majors: TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Capgemini, Cognizant. In fact, in one of our earlier sessions also, we did speak about the fact that you would have seen this all over the news that a lot of these top IT service majors are looking at hiring, if not more, at least as much as what they did in the last 1 year. And even in a pandemic struck last 1 year, the hiring by the top IT service majors has been pretty good in terms of number of offers made. And some of these recruiters like Infosys, Capgemini, Cognizant, etc., are also looking at bettering those numbers this year. TCS, for example, is made close to about 40,000 offers in this last financial year. And in this new placement season, of course, they are also looking at making very similar numbers. So naturally, of course, a lot of our eggs are also gonna be put in this basket of the IT service recruiters. So in terms of objective identifications, these are of course gonna be two of your primary objectives. There will of course be two other objectives, which perhaps might be minor objectives for specific departments, for specific cohorts, where you would want to bring in core recruiters as well, where in some of your institutions you might want to bring in analytics recruiters, where some of your key recruiters would also happen to be companies like Deloitte, ZS Associates, and similar analytics and sales in startups and SMEs. Now, for the purpose of the larger part of the audience, we'll talk about these two buckets for the tech job perspective, which happen also to be your best baskets of opportunity in a post-corona world. This was also pretty much a massive sense of opportunity in the last season as well. So this season also, naturally, with all of the news coming in from all of these IT majors, the numbers are going to improve. These are definitely going to be where we'll need to kind of prime our students with respect to tackling these two buckets of opportunities. Of course, there will be a lot of students from non-CS, non-IT backgrounds who might also need some bit of orientation with respect to the fact that it's also effective that they prepare for jobs in the tech space, while also parallelly hunting for core opportunities if that happens to be their core areas of interest and passions, but gearing them up and orienting them towards the fact that there are massive opportunities in these two fields, especially in a post-corona world, is also something that's going to be very critical at an objective identification stage. So by now, I'm sure that a lot of you would have done this objective identification in terms of where a massive amount of your effort is going to go into, where typically in terms of the last few years, what proportion of audience got placed in which of these segments, and how do you kind of keep improving that this year? I'm sure that you're already thinking about that. Now, once that you've done this identification, this objective identification, segmentation is very important, because with respect to placement training, especially in the month of May, when there is very little time before the placement season actually starts. So usually, as long as placements do start on time, we're typically almost maybe just about a month away before the IT product recruiters start hitting town, because usually they are the ones who start recruiting first. Then the IT service recruiters start. So last year there was a bit of a delayed start in terms of recruitments of all of these recruiters. This year, while none of these companies have exactly started announcing dates, at least they could be kind of hitting campuses around the same time as last year or slightly earlier, which used to be the normal modus operandi. Now, identifying with respect to which segment of our audience can go into what companies, what levels of companies is going to be very, very crucial. And if you have not done that yet, we generally suggest that you try to segment your students in terms of these two baskets of opportunities with respect to three major segments. So I'm calling them for the purpose of discussion as buckets A, B, and C. So bucket A students are your creamy layers, where these are students who are highly proficient in programming. So when I mean highly proficient, I'll kind of also define with respect to what areas of programming am I talking about with respect to proficiency. So these are going to be your creamy layer students, your typical, let's say, top 10, top 20 percentage of candidates, whom you can definitely ensure that you kind of put a lot of your focus with respect to ensuring that they move towards IT product company recruitments. And also typically land the big job offers, 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and so on. Then there's an intermediate bucket who are not exactly at the stage where the creamy level is, but they're still proficient in programming. Now I'm using programming as a skill to kind of differentiate, because with respect to the two different segments of recruiters, IT product and IT service, this is where the massive difference lies. While of course both of these categories of recruiters have their own specific recruitment patterns and processes, one of the key differences with respect to what exactly are they expecting in a typical coding round for an IT service recruiter versus an IT product recruiter. So that is where this segmentation basically kind of has at its heart in terms of differentiating based on levels of programming skills. Then there's going to be a sizable proportion of students as well who will also fall into bucket C, who are not yet proficient in programming. And here, when I'm typically talking about highly proficient in programming, uh, I'm specifically talking about audience who are proficient in one programming language, who are like absolute, who have established absolute mastery over that programming language. Not only fundamentals of programming, but if it is an object-oriented programming language, they are also able to implement hoops effectively in that language. If there are inbuilt libraries, they have a very good understanding with respect to which libraries to use for which purpose. And they also have a very good amount of proficiency in data structures and algorithms, where they're not only able to display theoretical understanding of data structures algorithms, they're able to practically implement it and solve challenging coding questions. Now, usually in a lot of institutions, the CS and IT groups will typically fall into this, but of course, some of the creamy layer students from the other cohorts also might end up falling into this. So identifying this segment is very, very important. And if you have not been able to do it yet, Facebook will also be able to happily help you with respect to identifying this segment towards ensuring that you kind of put them on a fast track program towards maximizing their opportunities of landing higher pay package offers. Now, given that these students are already proficient in data structures and algorithms, which happens to be one of the prime areas that IT product recruiters test, they're already at a level where they've kind of mastered the base skills for what IT product companies typically test. So usually a lot of these IT product company recruitments heavily focus on testing students on their mastery of a programming language and understanding and implementation of data such as algorithms, especially with respect to are they able to solve problems using time complexity and space complexity, two very important concepts with respect to IT product recruiters. Now, if they're already there, then if they have not already started yet, they should already be at a level where they should be able to maybe take advantage of competitive coding contests. Some of our students might already be at this level, who would have already started on a path towards preparing for Google Kickstart, for instance, who might have already attended Hackathon Fee, for which the first round got over a couple of days back. But there are still certain competitive coding contests which are still they're still in the pipeline. For example, TCS Code Beta is yet to be announced, and if you look at the calendar of all the previous years, that announcement usually happens around the month of May. Typically towards the end of May is when the announcement happens. So that is usually a massive opportunity where these creamy layer students can do really well and bag job opportunities by performing really well in competitive coding contests like Code Beta. And so if there is one thing that we should definitely put this cohort towards, it is company specific prep for IT product recruiters who happen to be the prime recruiters whom you are targeting. Now, we've said this earlier as well in different contexts in a lot of our sessions. Um, Company specific preparation for IT product recruiters is severely underrated. There is phenomenal amount of value that we can establish for this creamy layer cohort in terms of taking them towards a company specific preparation for IT product companies. Typically, the understanding that a lot of people have is that company specific preparation is very useful for top IT service majors like TCS, Infosys, Capgemini, Wipro. It is not so useful for the bigger companies like Amazon, Google, DE Shaw, Goldman, etc. Not necessarily the case. In fact, all of these companies also have their own set patterns. There are a lot of similarities with respect to what kind of skill sets, what kind of topics, and also what kind of questions that they end up testing on a yearly basis. So putting our students through this company specific preparation, which typically not a lot of students would actually end up doing when they aspire for IT product companies, it gives them that bit of an extra edge, given that they would have practiced a lot of previous year questions on specific companies that they are going to be targeting for. It could be Amazon, it could be Disha, it could be Flipkart. All of these companies have their own patterns of some bits of similarities in terms of topics and types of questions that kind of starts showing similarities between years of recruitment and also between drives which happen in the same year in different campuses as well. Now, bucket B is typically the category of students who are proficient in fundamentals of programming of one language. Today, the biggest advantage that students have is that almost every single tech recruiter who has a coding room, they end up giving students choice of their programming language. What is really important is whether they are able to power through the question. In the case of IT service recruiters, the question is in terms of are they able to solve the question completely and clear all possible test cases. When it comes to IT product recruiters, the additional requirement is are they also able to provide an effective solution, an optimal solution. Now here, one of the most important things that is very, very important from a base perspective is fundamentals of programming in any one language. Typically, the four most popular choices, as you will know by now, are C, C++, Java, and Python. Now, if there are students who are already proficient in fundamentals of programming, which is operators, decision making, looping, arrays, strings, data types, which usually what comprises a package called fundamentals of programming. These are students who are, number one, already at a level where they will be able to go and crack IT service company coding rounds if they're given the right amount of practice, the right amount of guidance. They're also on the cusp of potentially also going to bucket A, where they're not yet proficient completely in data structures and algorithms. But if we can get this started quickly, if we can train them on data structure algorithms quickly, if they can put them through a fast track program where we expose them to a lot of questions and utilize their strength in fundamentals of programming and make them solve a lot of data structure algorithms questions and train them on optimal problem solving, then they will also be able to potentially go on to crack IT product recruiters as well. Now, here, of course, company specific prep will also be an added advantage. But one massive difference between a bucket A and a bucket B category is that bucket B at this stage in their preparation, competitive coding might be too late. So while they might still look at a TCS CodeBeta as a very aspirational level contest, in fact, they should also be encouraged to try it as well. Perhaps preparing for CodeBeta separately might also be a great opportunity for them. But in terms of their preparation, they might be a little late towards competitive coding, but they can still try specific competitive coding contests, which give them some bit of space with respect to going and preparing. Then there is bucket C. Bucket C is typically where a large segment of audience who belong to the non-circuit and non-CSIT branches might end up falling in our institutions, where these are candidates who perhaps might possess good amount of problem solving skills, but they would definitely end up needing training on mastering one programming language. No, that can be anything. That can be anything between C, C++, Java, and Python. If students are just about getting started with respect to mastering a programming language, Python is definitely the easiest choice. It's very easy to learn. If they already have a bit of proficiency, some bit of base understanding in any of the other three, they can also kind of get started with that and kind of ensure that they master fundamentals of programming, where they master topics such as operators, data types, looping, decision making, control statements, arrays, and strings. If they're able to master this, then they would get primed for cracking IT service coding rounds. And of course, one of the massive components that IT service recruiters are naturally going to be testing on is aptitude. In one of our earlier sessions, in fact, just the previous session that we had handled, we'd spoken about the patterns of the top IT recruiters. And you would have also perhaps noticed is the recording for that session, in case if you have not been able to watch it, is available on the Face Pulse YouTube channel. You can check that out as well. And you would have noticed how amongst a lot of the top IT service majors, aptitude significantly ends up still playing a massive role in terms of the first round elimination. So a significant amount of aptitude preparation will have to be done for the bucket C category of students. Now, the same aptitude training can also be done for bucket B students as well and bucket A as well. Some bit of fast tracking can happen for bucket A, for instance. So bucket B are kind of on the cusp of potentially reaching out to going to do really well in IT product companies. But if we can also train them on aptitude additionally, they will be able to comfortably do well in IT service recruitments. But bucket C is what we kind of maybe need to move on and put a lot of our effort in starting a comprehensive training program as early as possible. And of course, there is a massive amount of benefit with respect to doing company specific preparation for IT service recruiters. We all know that. We had discussed in one of our earlier sessions, in the last 1 year, some of these top IT service majors have made significant changes to the way they conduct recruitments. For instance, Capgemini made a lot of waves for the fact that it introduced a new section called game-based aptitude, which is completely new. IBM was the only other recruiter who had actually started utilizing that particular section in one of its earlier recruitments. In fact, IBM started that a year earlier. Infosys also became really popular for the fact that there were two new sections introduced. Puzzles was introduced, pseudo coding was introduced, which were completely new. And Infosys was a company which typically has not changed its pattern of recruitment for a lot of years, at least the last 5 years at least. Last year was the first year where they made a significant change in terms of adding two newer sections. TCS NQT, for instance, which was usually heavily dependent on testing students on quantitative aptitude, some bit of English, and programming logic, MCQs, and coding. They introduced full-fledged sections on reasoning ability and verbal ability. The entire pattern went through a change. So a lot of the students who, let's say, sat for recruitment in a slightly later stage for any of these companies, who went through a pattern change or even who did not go through a pattern change, going through company specific preparation typically gave them a massive advantage. So for example, right now, Capgemini is conducting a 2021 off-campus hiring. Even today, there are test lots happening. And the advantage that these students have today is that they know that there's going to be something called game-based aptitude. They have gotten exposed to the kind of questions that have gotten asked. Therefore, they're far more confident in terms of going on and tackling this section. Even if the pattern changes, which of course can happen between years, putting our students through this company specific preparation is gonna make them really confident in terms of going on to tackle specific companies recruitment. It's a much smarter way of preparation. Now, in terms of doing a quick summary of skills, in terms of programming, it is clear. Data structures and algorithms is what is the level the students need to be at for IT product recruiters. When it comes to IT service, any one programming language's fundamentals of programming is enough. This is, of course, primarily focusing on tracking the coding around. Some of these companies also have bit of MCQs as well. So, for instance, Capgemini has a pseudo coding and data structure MCQ, even for the 3.8 lakhs per annum package. Infosys, for example, has a pseudo coding MCQ. Now, we can, of course, treat these recruiters from a company specific perspective and train students to go on to tackle these specific MCQ sections when we do the company specific preparation. But at a starting stage, going on to master programming and fundamentals is very, very critical. With respect to IT product recruiters, there are some recruiters who do a minimal test of aptitude, quant, logical, verbal. Sometimes they take a pick and kind of decide to only test students on quantitative aptitude and logical reasoning. But it is going to be a very heavily focused feature of IT service recruitment. So exposing the bucket B and bucket C students to aptitude is very important. Some bit of exposure to the bucket A folks as well to aptitude will ensure that if and when aptitude is tested by the IT product recruiters, they'll be able to go on to tackle it. And of course, communication skill naturally is very, very important. Not only from an interview perspective, but also from the fact that different recruiters also end up testing communication skills in slightly different rounds. For instance, there was an essay rating round in Wipro. There's also an essay rating round in a few other recruiters. And there is, of course, for example, a company like Accenture, which has an AI-based communication test, which is typically the round right before the interview. And the results of this particular process is actually utilized in gauging the communication of the candidate right before the interview process. So training our students in terms of communication confidence, in terms of getting the basic grammar and vocabulary right, is also something which we can focus on from an interview readiness perspective. This is something that I wanted to share with you. So we want to share this with you not only from the perspective of specific sections that students need to prepare on, but also from the fact that it is very important that given that we are in the month of May, exams are also happening for a lot of universities. Exams might end up getting started for some of the universities sometime a little late. So it's very important that, let's say, for example, for any section of the online test, when students are preparing, it's very, very important that they kind of utilize their time in the best possible way. So typically, a lot of students, when they end up preparing for aptitude, for instance, they go on to prepare aptitude in a very generic fashion by taking a particular textbook, by taking a particular website. Textbook, for instance, R.S. Agarwal is one textbook which a lot of students still prefer with respect to going on to prepare aptitude. But the disadvantage of that preparation in the month of May, when placements might start in a couple of months, is the fact that it is very generic. But rather, what it requires a very focused approach. There's some bit of analysis is required with respect to understanding what exactly are topics that kind of follow different segments. So, for instance, what you're seeing on screen is an analysis of quantitative aptitude section by looking at recruitment patterns of the top 50 recruitments, specifically, I mean, majorly from the IT space, but also we included recruiters who were also from the analytics segment. There were also specific top aspiration recruiters with very high packages, even from let's say fintech departments, for example, Goldman Sachs, PayPal, etc. We'd also done research on those companies as well. And we came up with this by identifying recruitment patterns from last year, where there were certain topics which are absolutely important. So we kind of call them in terms of three categories. There are very, very important must-learn topics, which are profit and loss partnerships, averages, time and work numbers. Almost every single company which has a quantitative aptitude section is bound to ask questions on this. And the volume of these questions between slots, between drives, between off-campus recruitment, on-campus recruitments is also significantly large for these topics. Then there's a second middle bucket, which basically is important. As in, of course, we'll have to ensure they learn, but that comes after they learn the most important topics. So these are topics such as ratios, proportions, variations, averages, time, speed, and distance, where there are questions on topics such as relative speed, average speed, effective speed, and so on. Permutation combination probability, which usually plays a major role in a lot of recruitments, TCS NQT being one of the most popular examples, and also slightly topics which usually are, which a lot of people perceive to be fringe topics, like functions, algebraic expressions, quadratic equations. They also made their way into the important to learn topics, where they had a significant amount of weightage, but they kind of came in second to the most important topics. Then there are good to learn topics. So these are topics which typically students should learn, but only after they master the first two buckets. So topics like logarithms, progressions, geometry, mensuration. So these are all topics which usually a lot of students would find difficulty in. So for instance, a lot of students will also take an approach where they will try to go and learn the most difficult topics first, which could be, let's say, set theory, which could be, let's say, logarithms, which could be, let's say, surge and indices. But in fact, the amount of their importance amongst questions that are asked in online tests is significantly lesser compared to the other ones. So now we've done a very similar analysis of this for all of the other sections as well. So for instance, if you take a look at logical reasoning, crypt arithmetic is one of the topics which a lot of people believe is very, very difficult to crack in logical reasoning. Infosys was very, very famous for asking questions on this, but last year Infosys also took a departure. In fact, a lot of test takers and a lot of slots did not have a crypt arithmetic question at all. So not all the time do topics that seem very, very difficult, they will end up having a high level of importance for the top IT majors. So this kind of analysis will kind of ensure that if you're able to, for example, plan an aptitude program by putting this at your center and trying to map out the calendar with respect to figuring out the amount of time that you have and how can you kind of make the massive use of it by prioritizing the most important topics first. That will ensure that for sections like quants and logical, students will be at a very, very good place. We did this for verbal ability as well, where vocabulary, reading comprehension, sentence completion are the three most important topics, question types the students have to get themselves prepared on. Then come parajumbles, articles, proposition, interrogative. Then come close passage, voice and speech, critical reasoning. Critical reasoning, for instance, features. In very, very few recruiters, it is usually one of the challenging question types to crack. But it is one of the last topics that we generally recommend our students to learn after going on to master all of the other topics. Now, apart from this, of course, they'll have to ensure that they go and master the general skill of error spotting. Because error spotting or sentence correction or choose the best alternative, whichever phrase that you end up using. This is one of the most popular question types in terms of verbal ability amongst a lot of recruiters. And this is also something that we would add to the red bucket, the most important list of topics to master from a verbal ability perspective. Now, from programming, if you take a look at it, from IT service recruiters, like we discussed, fundamentals of programming is crucial. Here, from a coding your own perspective, choice of programming language does not really matter. Outside of this, it is also very, very important that we train our students for going on to crack a section which is slowly gaining popularity, which is getting added to more and more recruiters' recruitment is called pseudocoding. Infosys added it this year. Capgemini has always had it this year. TCS NQT added it this year. Usually TCS NQT has a lot of questions which are very language specific. But then in the last 1 year, they've also added pseudocoding questions, apart from asking a few language specific questions as well. Now, if students are able to master fundamentals of programming, they can crack coding rounds. If they're able to learn pseudocoding, they will definitely be able to go on to crack it when and if it is asked. from an MCQ perspective. It will also gear them up towards potentially also learning other programming language basics. So sometimes MCQ sections of some of these recruiters might also end up asking some questions on basic data structures, some basic questions on C, C++, output-based questions. If they're able to master one language and have a bit of learnability, and when they do a company-specific prep, they'll also be able to go on to master certain basics in other programming languages and answer those questions when they're asked in MCQ rounds. But the coding round plays a massive difference. Now, from an IT product recruiter perspective, the starting point is the same. And of course, data structure algorithm is very important. Now, we have to maybe talk about some of the most critical areas that students have to learn in data structure algorithms. It definitely have to be these areas. So the most important data structures will happen to be linked list, stack, queues. And outside of this, there is also binary tree and binary search trees. There is a particular section of data structures called trees, tries, and graphs. Now, in terms of algorithms, there is a whole world of algorithms out there, which will train students on going on to ensuring that they effectively go on to crack questions in a very time optimal and space optimal manner. But some of the most important algorithms which will help them, which typically when we analyzed what algorithms do students use in a lot of these IT product recruitment tests and also competitive coding contests, these kind of figured in that list. These are also some of the first few sets of algorithms they learn: searching, sorting, recursion backtracking, dynamic programming, divide and conquer, greedy algorithm, and there has also been a resurgence of a lot of math-based questions. Now, this is in fact something that will also kind of attribute to IT service recruiters as well. There are questions where students should be able to go on to use fundamentals of programming, but there are also questions where they'll be able to use specific math logic. So strong fundamentals in problem solving and quantitative aptitude will also ensure that students are able to go and do really well. Now, if you're right now getting started with gearing your 2022 pass outs for our placement prep, we've right now seen that there are certain specific areas that we need to focus on. Now, the first step naturally is to do the segmentation. If you've not done that segmentation, if you need support in identifying that bucket A, bucket B, bucket C segment, Facebook will be happy to help you in conducting a diagnostic test and also give you a report for that. Now, once you've done that, it's critical that we also start training. While of course, given that there is a second wave happening, we'll naturally have to adopt to more and more online methods of training our students. So we can put our students through very focused, very category focused, skill level focused training programs, depending on what proficiency level that they're in. Then we will be able to ensure that they kind of reach the stage that they want to when companies start hitting your campuses, and when off-campus drives and competitive coding contests, national qualifier contests slowly start. Now, at this outset, we also wanted to talk about how we can help you as an organization. So naturally, these are trying times for the entire world and also for all of us in the education system who are trying to ensure that we improve the quality of our students. So last year, FacePrep launched a free placement preparation course called Face 360 Capsule. This was a comprehensive placement preparation course which trained students on our self-paced online learning AI-powered adaptive learning platform, which kind of taught them the basics, the absolute kickstart that they need with respect to ensuring that they go on to start then going on a slightly more focused training program. So, so there is this kickstart that typically students in their pre-final year would need, and Face 360 Capsule, thanks to a lot of our partner colleges, was extremely successful, and we were able to reach out to more than 1,20,000 learners, and a lot of the students found the course extremely helpful. And the students were spread across more than 260 partner colleges across the country. Uh, so this was one thing which, as an organization, we were very, very proud about. Because we, as an organization, what we believe in is we believe in standing by our partner colleges and supporting you through all kind of situations. And I'm sure that a lot of institutions are here who would have taken up Phase 360 capsule, who would have also found that it would have given your students the right kickstart towards starting their placement preparation. Now, this year, uh, there's been a lot of positive feedback. There's been a lot of requests from students and from educational institutions across the country. And as a result, we have come up with a second version. And this time we are calling it FacePrep Launchpad. So FacePrep Launchpad, if you're looking at kickstarting your placement preparation for 2022 password, this is the ideal kickstart. So it exposes students to three major areas. One of them is it gives them an understanding of what did the top IT recruiters test last year. So there is a specific module of the course which basically exposes them to patterns the top IT recruiters, what skills, what topic areas they test. This will kind of ensure that students don't start their placement preparation with a very generic mode. They already start by understanding market information, right? Recruitment patterns, skill levels, which companies are tougher to crack, which tests are easier to crack, which sections were newly added. Right? So they start out with this preparation. Then we also give them an introduction towards quantitative aptitude by exposing them to some of the most important topics like permutation combination, profit and loss, number system, time and work, time, speed, distance. These are some of the most critical topics in quantitative aptitude. And you would have also seen in one of our earlier slides that some of these topics also occupied the red category, the most important category. Now, this course also covers fundamentals of programming in Python, where students will be able to learn fundamentals of programming, starting from the basics. They'll be able to go through operators, data types, grouping, decision making, functions, arrays and strings, and they'll be able to learn this in Python. While our compiler, of course, allows students to code in multiple languages, we have built this course specifically for students to learn in Python because it is one of the most favored languages by a lot of students at different cadres of proficiency level, be it competitive coding or at an IT service recruitment level. We see a lot of students finding fundamentals of programming using Python to be very, very effective. Now, this time as well, for students of our partner institutions, we are giving away this course completely free of cost. So if you are interested in taking this up for your institution, I'll be launching a poll in some time, and you can also answer that, and we can get in touch with your institutions and we can help you onboard your students to this course completely free of cost. Now, this whole course is an 18-hour course which is hosted on our AI for adaptive learning platform, which gives students a very interactive and gamified learning experience, which will kind of ensure that they get a really good kickstart towards the placement preparation. And the whole course is driven by teaching them the fundamental concepts. There are high quality videos which will teach them. There are also practice questions, the video solutions that will kind of ensure they go on to master the fundamental concepts across quantitative aptitude as well as fundamentals of programming in Python. But these are two critical areas in terms of placement preparation: quantitative aptitude for aptitude and fundamentals of programming for programming. If you can get them kick started with this, then if you can focus on running focused programs for the other skill sets and sections, then we'll be in the right place. Right? So you will definitely be able to fast track your students towards going on to crack placements. And we are giving course access and support for the students for this free course for a period of 3 weeks. I will also quickly launch a poll. So in case if you are interested in claiming this offer for students of your institution, specifically for 2022 passouts, you can feel free to answer in the poll, and we will get in touch with you. Our business team, our support team will get in touch with you, and we will help you out in onboarding your students to this course. If you need special support in terms of organizing any programs for your students with respect to gearing them up for the placement preparation, we'll also be happy to. While you answer the poll, I will also leave the forum open for asking any questions at this point that you might have. So feel free to type in your questions, if any. In terms of planning your preparation for 2022 passouts, I'll be able to happily answer those questions. So there's one question which I've got, which is typically what is the amount of duration that we'll have to spend towards training students on aptitude. Now that can also happen at slightly different levels, sir. Um, Now the recommended duration that we would that we usually suggest is 6 to 8 days, but some students might slightly need more amount of preparation. So we would perhaps suggest that you do a diagnostic test. Maybe try identifying at what level of problem solving and aptitude there are students at different levels, and you can kind of give different training programs for different levels. If you need some help with the segmentation, we'll also be able to happily help you. There's a question from Mr. Kishore who asked, are there any specific dates? Sir, I hope you're asking about whether this is kind of, as in Facebook Launchpad is kind of available from a specific date to date. So we are right now keeping it open right until the placement season starts. So for instance, if your students are available right now, if the exams are getting over, then you can definitely get started right away. If you want to wait until the exams are over and then get them kickstarted, you can get them kickstarted then as well. We'll be happy to help you out with that as well. From the time they enroll, they will get access to this course for 3 weeks, and they'll be able to comfortably finish the course as well. I hope I've answered your question, Kishore sir. And yes, sure sir, as per your request, we'll also arrange a call back for you, definitely sir. There's a question from Kantilal Joshi who's asking, do you have a diagnostic test for segmentation? Absolutely, we do have a diagnostic test. We have standard diagnostic tests for different purposes. We administer them in a lot of our partner institutions. If you're interested, please do let us know. We'll be happy to get in touch with you and help you do this segmentation and conduct a diagnostic test. Definitely. There's a question from Mr. Atul Joshi who asked, do you have a special program for recruiters who require mechanical engineering knowledge along with coding knowledge? So at this point in time, our primary focus happens to be training students for tech jobs. But your feedback is definitely welcome. In the future, we'll perhaps try to come up with something for the core industries. But given that a larger amount of focus is towards the tech segment, we primarily focus on problem solving skills, communication skills, programming, and all the other skills it's required to go and land a tech job. But we will definitely take your feedback into consideration and try to come up with something in the near future, sir. Thanks for that. Thank you for voting. I will perhaps close the poll in a few seconds. If any of you would like to express your interest for availing the free course, please feel free to answer the poll. If you have any general questions around helping your 2022 passouts gear up for placements, please feel free to ask. The comment section is open. There's a question from Mr. Prashant who asks how much amount of company specific preparation will have to be done for IT service recruiters. That would definitely also vary from company to company. So for instance, some of the major recruiters typically institutions would target would be TCS, NQT, Infosys, Capgemini, Cognizant, Accenture, IBM, and so on. We usually recommend a minimum of 6 to 7 days for any of these companies, so that we take care of two things. First is we expose them to all possible sections. This is very, very important, because a lot of these companies have different sections. And it's very important we kind of expose in the entire gamut of the question types, including the interview process. And the more and more questions they solve in these sessions, so typically a student who goes through a 6 to 7 day training program on a company specific module will end up going through at least, let's say, 90 to 100 questions on a daily basis if you're talking aptitude. And if it's coding, the number could vary, but at least on an average we're talking about 100 questions in a day. So which naturally will translate to at least 500, 600, 700 questions in a 7 day, 8 day training program. So this will kind of ensure that they have a massive exposure. So the more exposure we give to them, that will kind of pump in a lot of their confidence. They'll also start seeing a lot of similar questions when they eventually go. So for instance, somebody who has a clear-cut understanding of the fact that which company has got an intra-sectional navigation, which company does not have an intersectional navigation, that student will have a lot of advantage because they already know, being very familiar with the test environment. And that advantage will come from a 6 to 7 day company specific training program for any company. So any of these, any of the tech companies, any of the majors that you would like to target for your college, we'd also be able to organize company specific stuff. But we would humbly advise you to get started with Launchpad so that they get the understanding first in terms of what companies test, and also get the kickstart in 2 areas, quantitative aptitude and fundamental. I hope I've answered the question, sir. Thank you. If any of you have any other questions, please feel free to. And also please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Face Pulse. You can find by the name of Face Pulse. In case you missed any of our sessions, which we had done earlier. So we had done a couple of sessions in the last few weeks where we had done a session talking about specific changes in the recruitment patterns of the top IT majors. We'd also done a session heavily focused on IT product recruitment placement as well, in terms of preparing a training calendar for that. Please do go through those videos in case you missed them. They're available on a YouTube channel which goes by the name of Face Pulse. Right. In case you would like to get in touch with anybody in our organization for any specific needs, I'm flashing the contacts here. You can maybe perhaps take a note of it. And if we can help you with any training needs, we'd be very happy to. And like I said at the beginning of the session, these are naturally tough times for the entire education system, for the entire country. And as your trusted partner in this space, we pledge that we would stand by you and support you through thick and thin in terms of ensuring that you gear your students up for the upcoming placement season. So any support that you would need in that, we are happy to provide. And as a gesture of our support is where we are bringing in a completely free of cost offering called Facebook Launchpad. We significantly hope that a lot of your students will get benefited and get the kickstart that they need. Kishore sir, just putting the name of the YouTube channel in the chat. You'll be receiving it right now on the chat, sir. I'm also putting it in the chat for anybody else who's perhaps wanting to check out the previous session that we have done. You can search for Face Pulse on YouTube and you'll be able to find our YouTube channel. Student requires how many hours per day for the training? All right, so sir, Mahbub sir, I'm assuming that you're talking about FacePrep Launchpad. So FacePrep Launchpad is a self-paced online learning program which they get to learn on our AI-powered adaptive learning platform. So they get to learn at their own pace, by the way. So the total duration of the course for an average learner is 18 hours, sir. And we are giving a learning period, a validity of 3 weeks for that. But typically, if a student ends up learning at least 2 hours on the platform, which is the minimum recommendation that we would do, they would still be able to ensure that they complete the whole course in 9 days with time to spare. They'll be able to recap, revise, repeat certain things that they want. But if you're looking at doing a slightly comprehensive preparation at this stage of the year, sir, we would perhaps recommend that you try to plan for at least, let's say, 5 to 6 hours in a day. Usually, such amount of duration is not recommended for online learning because of heavy screen exposure. Typically, we recommend 3 hours in a day. But given that the placement season is also about to start, we would recommend a slightly larger duration if you're doing a focused live training program, and Facebook can help you with that. If you are looking at Launchpad, students can learn at their own pace. But if you like to control the schedule, you can typically allocate 2 hours per student per day, and they still be able to complete the course in like 9 days. I hope I've answered your question, sir. Super. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. I hope you found the session useful. And for all of you who have expressed interest in availing Facebook Launchpad, thank you very much for your overwhelming interest. We'll be getting in touch with your institution soon. Our business team will be getting in touch with you and helping you avail this free course. And if you need any other support, please feel free to let us know, and we are happy to support you. We hope and pray for betterment of the current pandemic in the country, and we genuinely hope for a very successful placement season in all of our institutions. Thank you very much. Stay safe. We will meet you soon once again in another session like this from Facebook. Thank you.